Hey everybody, it's Ken and Shell.
How y'all doing out there?
Reminding y'all to like and subscribe, get in the comments, holler at us.
Talk to us, people. I like to talk to y'all.
We give advice, but we need advice sometimes, so engage us.
Engage.
We appreciate the feedback.
I want to be able to talk to you. Talk to me, please, people. Talk to us. Talk to us.
Holler at us.
Holler at us.
Before we get into today's discussion, we just want to remind y'all to rock the vote.
Go
everybody.
vote.
Go vote.
Go vote, people. I voted. She voted.
Yes,
And our kids.
we make sure we take our kids with us during every election, even the local elections. It's
Correct.
very important that we teach our kids to do their civil duties. So, just a little friendly reminder. Today's discussion is close to our heart because lately it has been a theme that has been going on around us.
Yep.
Weirdly, oddly.
Weird.
We went to a health seminar?
Yeah. At the church.
A week or so ago. And, you know, my husband is the friendly one. Everybody walks up to him. They talk to him. They tell them their life stories, everything, you know.
They really do. My wife, she's a nice person. People talk to her too, but she ain't lying. People will come up to me and I'll be like, what made them do it? But they do it.
In this one particular day, we were at the church sitting next to this young, how old was he?
He was in his early 50s, late 40s. He about my age, close to my age.
Mid-age, you know.
Yeah.
And he proceeds to tell my husband about his failed relationship and how he didn't say he was hurt, but
A broken-hearted man.
yeah, he didn't say he was hurt, but that's how I interpreted it.
He was in pain, people. He was in pain. And it's been a long time, but you can still see that he's still kind of hurting over it.
I mean, it just got me to thinking. And one thing that the men that walked up to him when they approach him with their relationship,
Yeah.
woes, they all say no one talks about this. Like, just to be clear, there's a lot of relationship channels. We know that.
We know
that. But we want to speak to the void in the relationship advice realm that's missing, you know?
It's gone real, personal, authentic.
Yes, and the brokenness that is men, that men have in their relationships. Failed relationships, that is.
Correct.
What is that? What happens? What does that look like? What is that? Should you get involved? Should you not? What does that look like? We're going to get into that tonight. We, please come along on this journey. I will say, from the woman's perspective, I am on the slow bus. I didn't know, like, when I see men after a failed relationship or whatever, they are everywhere, humping anything that walks. They're in the club. Some people smoke and drink their way through life afterwards. I didn't know that was hurt, brokenness. I just thought, okay, well, you got rid of her and now you can do what you want to do. I didn't know. I didn't know. So, I mean, I will be learning as well. Like, I really didn't know. I didn't know. I was very oblivious to this. And then, now that I'm older and watching some of my uncles and stuff, I now realize that
There was some hurt men.
they were hurt. And by no means does this give you the right to tear down someone or anything like that. It does not give you the right. But we want to speak to the brokenness and how to heal and what to do and what to recognize.
Correct.
So, babe, what do you feel like? Okay, you just got out of a bad relationship.
Yeah.
A lot went on. You have kids.
Mhm.
What do you think you should do? What is the first thing you think you should do?
The first thing a broken man should do, take some accountability. I want y'all to understand, man, what I'm trying to say about that. Don't mean you were wrong, but it takes two. So both of y'all were at each other and you didn't put forth the effort to you make it work at that time. Not saying that y'all can't make it work, but at that time it didn't work. Next, please go get some help. Go get some counseling. Try to work on yourself. Talk to the counselor. Tell the counselor. Tell somebody that you're hurt. Because I know as a man, we don't like to talk about we hurt. It looks weak. And we've always been told, brush that off. It's going to be okay. But they don't understand what it's like to be a man. A man in general, it is a job. It's a hard job that if you are a man who you care about your ex, I'm talking about your kids, your whole entire, like, your life is changed. Your whole family's changed. Everybody's gone. So you have to rebuild almost. And you have to go through a whole process, a journey of getting yourself back right. And that takes a long time sometimes. Because if you have something like kids and, you losing that, and it hurts. And it depends on how long. Because if it's just like 1 or 2 years, hopefully you don't have no kids involved in it. But if you do, you still gotta. But if it's one of these 20 and 40 years, that hurts people. And those people have to go through a long journey and process. Because I was doing some, I would research, and every year they said it takes a person about 3 months to go through a process. So if it's, let's say, 8 years, do them with the months. And so that's a long time. So you got to put forth a lot of effort and work at it. But go to counseling, prayer, and try to put your life back together the correct way.
I would just say, for me, during my breakup, letting go of the idea that this is not going to be what I want it to be, even though it wasn't what it was anyways, was one thing I had to let go of. I am like a get in the weeds kind of person with you. I will get down with you and wrestle. I will do anything to try to make my relationships work.
Supposed to.
It's a good thing, but it could be used against you. It was.
True. That's true.
It was. Like, I was very green at that time. So, when I should have walked away, I was in the mud. I was in, I should have. But I had to let go of the idea of what I wanted.
Yeah.
It wasn't it.
And sometimes that's if you gotta let it go.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work like that. And that's a good thing to do sometimes. Sometimes it's not, but you have to pray on that, because like you how you scream, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You're young. You don't know. You trying to get through it. So the more you learn and the older you get, you won't do those same mistakes.
Right.
So I do agree with you on that.
I know what certain things come with. If someone's doing this, that means they're that. I've learned that as I've gotten older. But then, I was trying to make my little family work. I was, but I didn't know, like, that it wasn't working. It wasn't never going to work, because this is what this person is on. So I had to let that idea go in my mind. And I feel like that is part of the first steps of letting go, or moving on and healing, should I say.
Correct.
How you feel about the relationship, because if you don't let go of the idea, you will always mourn it.
Correct. I agree with that.
You always mourn what could have been, and it wasn't that anyways. It just wasn't. So I had
Yeah,
to let go of that idea that's part of the battle. It really is.
that's true. That's true.
One thing I have to also say is, um, Nick Cannon. I was watching an interview with. Did you watch that?
I watched some of it. I watched some of it.
He was with Mariah
Carrie.
Carey
Yeah,
for some years. They have two beautiful twin kids.
kids.
And he was talking about how he kind of fumbled that bag. Like she was worth more. She deserved more, should I say. That's what he said. And he was broken in that relationship. He felt like he wanted to do more than just being Mariah Carey's husband. But, they moved on. They're still friends. They're good. But he went from that to having multiple baby mamas, multiple kids. And I just, for the life of me, don't understand how you go from having no kids
To a whole
to
lot of
kids and baby mamas everywhere. And now at 40 years old, I'm learning that's a broken person.
he was broke. No man's supposed to do that. And I'm gonna say this. I knew he was broke. Once I found out he had like 8 kids and more than that, I said, ain't no man out here happy just humping around and doing that. Men though sometimes don't understand it. We don't know how to talk about that stuff because we aren't taught to deal with that kind of pain. That pain hurts. Like I know he probably was out here talking to the women, and after a while, he would have a child with them, and after he had a child with him, he would leave. So now he's created a whole bunch of families, of little families that he has a lot of kids and they don't have their daddy around all the
Yeah,
time.
no foundation.
In the old days, it was one mama, one daddy. They could have between 8 to 12, even more kids. But the foundation was there. They didn't have all of the almost money, all of their glamour. They didn't have all of it. But they had the Lord and they had a bond. But the bond was what kept them together and they grew. Nick has a lot of little families out here, and that's not good because I could tell that's a hurt man.
Yeah.
A man who's happy, I'm gonna tell y'all ladies, a man who's happy, we don't need all these different women. We don't desire to have all of different women. When you are happy and you know you're happy, you can be with that one woman and be with her forever because it's about love. I can see it's a lot of men out here right now that don't know how to talk and communicate. Like, I'm in pain. I miss my, his past life. He missing his entire, family. He's missing his ex-wife, his, child's mother. He's missing everything, so he's hurt. So what he does is try to cope with it. He try to get high.
Yeah. Some people
Drink.
drug and thug their way through it.
Yeah, and then he's not getting the correct help. He's not go and get the counseling. He's doing this, and then he's out here doing crazy, harmful things. And now you're out here doing those kind of things, and you're not helping nothing out. You're making things worse because we have enough kids out here who don't have both of the parents at the house. And that goes for our Nick also. He has a lot of kids and he can't be at the house with every child. I don't care what he say about all the money and he makes the time. That is good. But at the end of the day, a child appreciates you being at the house with them at least half the time. He can't do half the time if you got a totality of the kids that he have. So he was hurt. Hopefully he got the help that he needed, and he can push forward where he don't have to keep making all these babies, because that's not a real good thing to cope with your pain with. Meeting this woman, having this child, then everything goes bad, then you go into another woman, have this child. You got a lot of kids,
Yeah.
and it's not helping nobody.
I worked at long-term care for a long time, for like 15 years.
Yeah.
I seen what that turned into. There was a lot of men in those long-term care facilities
Yeah.
that, just could never heal and figure that out. And please, it was
Bad.
so much to where that's the norm. Like,
Yeah.
a man that showed up there with a bunch of kids, didn't know who was what was who, and they most of the time didn't want to have nothing to do with him.
The kids be angry with
Because
them
they're mad.
because you didn't get a real good bond when you spend time with them.
Yeah.
You're not forming a relationship. You're out here trying to cope with his pain.
Yeah.
And so he don't understand you got pain that needs to be resolved and helped. But he's smashing and dashing. He make a baby. Go to the next woman. You make a baby. That's not helping you. Healing starts with prayer, help, and the Lord most of all. Go through the process. Get help. Nick Cannon and every man out here, get help. Because I was a hurt man before. And I had to go through mine. But what I did do, I was going to church. I was reading that Bible. I was praying. I was crying. I was doing whatever I had to do to get myself right. And ta-da, I got my blessing because the Lord knew that I was ready and he gave it to me. But I had to do work to get to that point. And we don't have all these crazy kids out here in the world because that's not good. And you got a lot of babies out here who don't get to have their dad around and enjoy the family. Not just the mama and the child, the mama, the daddy, and the child. Build that relationship, that bond.
And when it comes to like working on yourself, when you realize, hey, I have this broken relationship, most of the time your healing is not going to start within that relationship.
That's right.
Most of the time it's childhood trauma that you brought into the relationship. Most of the time it's maybe something that happened in your life that kind of brought that in. So you got to kind of start from them if you want the true healing to start. And I have seen mainly men, some men, I'm going to say this.
Come on.
They think that their childhood has nothing to do with why their relationship is a mess.
Yeah.
And that it's literally half the battle.
That's half the battle.
Like, especially if you have some issues with women or whatever the case that may be, and your mom was a mess. Sorry, put it out there that not everyone's a good mother.
Not everyone's a good father or mother. That's right.
So if you have that issue and then look, hey, bam, you married your mother.
Yeah.
It happens, but are you ready to realize that? You got to do that.
That's taking accountability, dude.
That's what that is.
Man, you got to take accountability with that.
But and then just thinking about long-term care, the amount of men that didn't do that is devastating to a family. There's one guy who had 15 kids, 10 baby mamas. It had the nerve to be married. I was like, what?
But that's pain.
That's pain.
But wouldn't nobody know that?
I didn't
Because
know that.
people think he's out there humping, he's having a good
Just
time.
having a good time.
That is a mask. That's the word. It is a mask that he's covering up this pain with another woman, not knowing that he needs to work out the pain and the process, go through that process. He needs to get help. But he think what's helping him is to get another woman and to have another baby. And you're not helping nothing. You're making a problem, because now you have all these kids with all these different women, and they mad at you because the older kid and they don't have their parents. They be hurt, missing out on things themselves.
Yeah.
And it's not just the boys, it's the girls and the boys. They need both parents. And that's the blessing of it. But that man that had all those kids, he was hurting bad. And he probably used to get drunk and high too, probably.
He was definitely an alcoholic.
Yeah, see? And not knowing that he needed to go through some whole bunch of trauma, that he had to get some help. And I hope he got it, but
no,
he
did not.
Okay. So then he had to go through his life without getting help, without getting anything. And so what happened is he transferred that trauma to every different person until now. I guess he's
passed on.
He passed on. So he didn't get the help. He got a lot of kids out here who hopefully they are close together, but if they're not close, because if you never around each other a lot, that bond doesn't grow. It gets up, it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
But I mean, you left a trail of pain. You did. And I mean, hopefully they got their healing, or, they're breaking curses in that way.
I hope they are too.
But, you want to do the healing so that it doesn't get that far. And when it comes to your kids, I do see that y'all do get the short end of the stick when it comes to kids.
I'm glad you said that.
I will say women have more of the advantage. That is true.
Yeah.
And when we are hurt, sometimes women, we will use our kids against our ex-spouse that hurt us.
Yeah.
Which is not right. And I will say from experience for myself, our child, he is in college. My biological child. I did not. I feel some type of way about his dad, but I didn't let him know about it. I whatever we went through, whatever I felt, I kept to myself. And I made sure whatever he has going on with his dad, whatever hangups, that's on him. He's got to figure that out. We'll both be here to walk him through it. He has raised him for 10 years. I'm
his father.
Yeah.
He be with me all the time. He loves me. I love him. And trust me, he called me, Pop. He called me Dad. Right. So I'm the dad. And I love all of my boys, all 3 of my boys. So, and trust me, I've had to go through that journey a lot.
And I said that to say, it can be done. And it's not easy, and I know that.
I want to piggyback off of that, too, because what I want to say about that is, it's a lot of women don't understand when you said us as black men or all men, we hurt. And I'm going to speak as a man right now. I'm not going to say any ethnicity. I'm talking just for a man right now. We suffer in pain. Sometimes y'all get to keep the kids the majority of the time, and the man has to go on up in his daily life trying to hold on to any kind of, what's the word? Sanity. That's the word. Sanity. Because his whole life is gone now. He's used to having you and the children now. But if it doesn't work out, he has neither. So now he has to focus his life on being productive, to keep his mind. How can I focus? Focus on doing right, to try to be in the kids' life. And that's not always easy, because the woman sometimes don't make it easy. And as a man, a black man, but all men, we need the help. We suffer. we don't get the calls like y'all do. I'm talking about y'all get a person call y'all almost every day. No, us as I'm gonna say men, we don't get those calls. We'll get them probably the first day or two after they find out that everything is blew up and say, "Oh, you okay?" And the majority of the men, let's be real, are not gonna be honest. They're gonna say, "Yeah, everything's fine," and get out the phone and be like, "Oh yeah, everything's okay," but then going over there and suffering. Or you might get the other guy. He might tell you, "Yeah, I'm hurt," but they only call in, check on him just a handful of times or something. This man is going through a process that he's not going to see his kids no more. He ain't going to see the person he was with for the long time, anymore. So now he has to start over. Hopefully, they don't destroy each other. Well, they be, talking down on each other, and the kids, they start pulling away from the man. And so now the man has to try to get, closer to the kids again, but the kids are hurt.
And one thing I will say about when it comes to kids, it's sad, but sometimes it requires a little patience with the kids that need to mature. And that's not fair.
Yeah.
I will say that's not fair. But some things you do learn as you get older and you look back and you're like, man, that was jacked up what you did. And, now I know the truth, or however, whatever.
And the relationship, it don't be the same between the doggone dad or pop, whatever you want to call them, and the child, because it's not, they haven't been around each other as much.
Right.
And I'm telling you, ladies, that hurts the kids.
It really does.
Hurts the kids, and it hurts the father, because they need each other. If you don't want the man no more, or if he don't want you no more, be cordial, be adults. You don't have to be in love to be cordial. Just be like, okay, that is that child's dad or your father. Excuse me, people. Because I went through this before, and it hurts. We both went through it, and it hurts. And what happens is, you have to build a total brand new relationship with that child, and it depends on how long it is, because I can only talk for myself. I didn't see one of my children for almost 5 years, and that destroyed me.
And I'm talking from a mother's perspective, watching him go through it and being a wife. It was really hard on him. He's not just saying that just to show face.
To show face, no.
No, I mean, there were times like he was really destroyed by that.
But the Lord blessed me to get through it, because he knew I would have to be somebody to talk to other men for this. And trust me, now I talk to my child, our children, because trust me, we're close to all our kids. But it's not easy. No. It's not easy, ladies. That's when I say, and trust me, you talking about a father, she'll tell you. Anybody who know me will tell you, I'm there for my children day and night. I go above and beyond. Now my kids are grown, but it's still not the same with the almost one child the way it is with the other two children. But I'm going to love them all the same.
Well, I just feel like y'all are going through a journey, a healing
It's
journey.
A healing journey.
In that, too. And to my point, there are certain things that he has to mature on in order for y'all's relationship to grow.
Correct.
And that takes time.
Correct.
That I will speak for myself, even with my own parents. There are some things that I didn't know and I had wrong in my mind until I matured.
Correct. I remember I had you talk off a ledge sometimes.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's a learning journey.
I had some things wrong because I was immature. So you have to give your kids time to learn. And there are some times where he had to sit down and tell some truths that were asked, and it was at an age appropriate.
Yes, please, dads and moms, parents, make sure these kids are appropriate age to before you start talking about each other's. Come on, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do
because it's not gonna help. It's gonna make things worse.
Yes.
And I'm gonna tell you something else that I learned when they start getting into their own relationship.
Oh yeah.
And they find out of dating, and they see from their own perspective and own point of views. Then they come ask you, and you can start telling them, yeah, I went through that. I had to go through this. So it's not always a bad thing. But one thing I can say, ladies, men suffer, and we suffer in silence a lot. But you have to be understanding. Don't hurt each other. Love one another.
And be mature.
Please do.
Always think about the benefit of your kids. And I try to raise my kids to where they don't have to heal from their childhood.
Yeah.
There are some things I have to answer to because I'm not a perfect parent.
We both.
But I never wanted my kids to have a childhood that they had to heal from.
That's true. And I've had a lot of men come up to me, ladies. I mean, I never knew. And I'd be like, I didn't know, bro. And they'd be like, no, man, but it was something about you that I felt like I could talk to you about. And then I'll tell them, and they'll be like, so you understand, brother? And I'll be like, I do understand, my brother. I do understand. Because us as men, we love our kids. We love our beautiful wives. We love y'all. But it's painful when you don't have somebody. Because it's been some days, I remember when I was alone and I had my own place, taking care of my own self. And I would be at the house alone. Sometimes and I would just turn off the lights. But I thank God that I didn't go into no quote unquote hard depression. Because there's some men that go into a hard depression and they mind go way to the left. And they can't function well and do some crazy things. During the COVID time, you know, a lot of stuff was going on. And so I thank God I didn't get to that point. We need to understand, just like the women, y'all have hurt and pain, the men do too. So understand, don't keep the kids away. Don't keep don't talk down on the man, ladies. Don't slander the man's name. If it didn't work, it didn't work. But you do not have to belittle that man and you make that man be like he was the most horrible thing in the world. Because I promise you, that same man that you belittling and talking about, some other woman gonna find that same man. You are worth every time that I got to get to, quote unquote, I know you and fall in love with you. So it's not that you two were good together, but you don't have to be horrible to each other. And always put the kids first, because it's a lot of heartbroken men out here, ladies, that are going through pain that they just don't know how to deal with. And they have to get the counseling. Ask them to go get some counseling. Even if y'all are not cool, tell them, I think you need to get some counseling. I don't need no counseling. Just get some counseling. I'm going to continue to be a positive person to you, but go get some counseling. That helps men a lot.
And when it comes to counseling and just, well, I'm okay. No, you got yourself this far, so look around. Did it work? You know, you need someone to put some eyes on this.
That's
so,
right.
You know, get some counseling, get healing. It does trickle down to your kids. Remember me talking about the nursing home. It's a real thing. I'm not joking or over-exaggerating. It's a real thing. Really? And for the men or women who's out here watching this video is not for people who insist on staying broken, who don't think anything is wrong, who don't want to be healed and just want to use that excuse to keep doing what they're doing. You watch this for nothing. You have actually really have to heal and do the work. That is the only thing that's going to work. It's the only thing that's going to make you feel better. And it's going to be a process and it's going to be hard, but it is worth it. And on the other side of it, I'm telling you,
You're going to come out wonderful. And I'm going to talk to all of my brothers out there, all of you men. This is particularly to you all from me. Go get the work. Go get the help. Go get that counseling. Go get some help. Go to the gym. Go get a massage. Go talk to somebody who you can trust. That won't talk about you behind your back and won't talk down on you. And don't I hear being like, oh, you can let that chick go and man go and get all these other women. No. Get somebody who is going to understand the pain that you're going through at that time and help you get out of that pain. Because trust me, you can and you will. But it's a process. Just like she said, it's a process and you have to go through that process. Go in the fire and come out. And trust me, the Lord, He understands. He know your heart.
yes,
If you want to get this right and you want somebody to love you, get help because you're not going to do nobody good. Just like you said about the dude who had all them kids. Kept jumping from relationship to relationship and got all these damn kids and he can't do nothing for now. Half of them probably don't even want to see him.
Yeah.
Probably most of them, right?
yeah,
So that's not going to do you any good. Brothers, all of you men, go get that help because I promise you, you're going to need it one day and that will help you. Don't let nobody deter you from getting help. If they want to talk about you, block them.
yeah.
Erase their number.
In my healing journey, I lost a lot of friends. I did. I lost a lot of friends because the person that I was and the person I'm becoming, Jesus wanted me to become, couldn't hang out with the same people. Couldn't.
Can't do that.
Can't do that. And I was sad. Don't think that was easy for me.
That's
you
right.
know. But, you know, once on your healing journey, some people will fall by the wayside. That is a fact.
Let them go.
Yeah.
Let them go.
You want to be who Jesus wants you to be. So, on that journey, some people fall away. And that's...
But I promise you,
Yes.
He going to bring some people in your life who's supposed to be with you on that journey.
Yes.
And that journey will not be as hard as you believe because you're going to have somebody who you can enjoy it with. Because trust me, that is what I wanted and we got it.
Yeah, you're looking at two products of that.
2 products.
We actually did the work. I went to counseling. He went to counseling. We went to counseling together. And we did the work. And we're on the other side of it. Not perfect by far. But the stuff, the wounds that we had back then,
They healed.
they're healed. And we don't put our old wounds off on each other because we know what they are. So with it, and this is not to say you won't get triggered. That's part of healing. Healing is not a destination, it is a journey. So you will go up and down and things will trigger you and blah, 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 blah. But part of healing is going within yourself, being like, hey, I know I got this issue. Let me calm myself. The coping mechanisms that you will learn during healing.
That's right.
So, just to wrap this up, go to counseling, get your healing, fellas.
Pray, fellas. Go to counseling.
Women, please don't make it hard on men. I know some men are impossible. I do know. I do know.
Don't, ladies, don't keep the kids from
Don't do that.
Please be understanding because I promise you, you don't want to be at a house alone when you're used to having your whole totality of I'm going to say, your family together. Don't do that.
Someone's got to be mature.
And why don't you both be mature?
It comes for the best outcome. Life is hard enough. Don't make it hard on each other, please.
Go get the help. Y'all keep us in prayer, and we will always keep y'all in prayer. And do what you got to do to be blessed and a prosperous person in this world.
Okay, YouTube. We love you.
Peace
Peace
out.
out.